The Conjuring Last Rites or The Conjuring Last Blight? I'm fucking hilarious. Hey y'all, welcome to The Real Value, where we recap, review, rate, and evaluate all things real, all things watched. I'm Cal, your horror pal, and on today's show, we're talking about the supposed final installment of the Conjuring franchise. Now, they'll probably still have more Nun and or Annabelle spinoffs, maybe even a streaming series or two from now on until oblivion. I mean, if you've been with us at all when we've talked about these movies, you know that they are cash cows, so they're gonna milk it for all it's got. But as far as Ed and Lorraine are concerned, at least in this iteration with Vera Farmiga and Patrick Wilson at the helm, this is supposed to be the final film, but we'll see what the almighty box office has to say. So the movie is longer than the others in the franchise. This one runs 2 hours and 15 minutes, so you'd think it'd be jam-packed with scares and terrifying horror scenes that we're all there for, but sadly, it's actually a story more focused on the Warrens and their daughter Judy than anything else, and it's almost a drama in that sense. Her boyfriend Tony is spending the film trying to impress the Warrens because he wants to marry Judy and win their approval. So it's kind of like a family drama in a sense that you're almost sucked into. It's not bad. It's actually kind of heartwarming in some instances, but it's not what I'm there to see. But on the whole, what this does is deter the film from focusing on the family that's being haunted, the Smurls, and their plight. Usually we get to know the family pretty well, and I'd even say, for the most part, are able to become more sympathetic with them through viewing their haunting. But in this film, it seems like the director, Michael Chavez, who also directed several other of these films, was more focused on the Warrens, so we don't really care about the Smurls as much. I only remember like 2 or 3 haunting scenes concerning the Smurls. You compare that to the first Conjuring movie, it was like every other moment the Perron family was getting haunted. But that gets you all geared up and jazzed through the movie, waiting on Lorraine and Ed Warren to show up. You cared about the Perrons. You even cared about the second family in The Conjuring 2, or at least you did, with the daughter. I forget what her name was. All this fucking cat hair. But you cared about the second family a lot in the movie too. In this one, I didn't really care about any of the Smurls due to lack of screen time. I understand it's supposed to be the last Conjuring, so it's really centering around them more than anything, but it affected the overall pacing of the movie. You probably could have cut out about 20% of this film and it would have had the exact same effect, especially seeing how once the Warrens finally do get to the Smurls to help, it feels like they're there for a second and then all of a sudden we're at the climax and boom, done. End of the Smurls' problems and the haunting. I don't know. Again, I just felt like the Smurls didn't get their due. There's supposed to be 8 people living in that household. I remember 3 of the family members. I will say that the CGI in the film is pretty good. The ghosts and monsters look rad, opposed to one slight blemish that I think could have looked better at the beginning of the movie. I feel it was a bit out of place with the rest of the film and franchise, the little entity that's shown at first. Y'all let me know in the comments below when you see it. Didn't that thing seem a little just out of place? I don't know. Maybe it was just me. But it wasn't like Malthus, it wasn't like Valak. It was a little different. Also, the main character that plays Judy in this movie looks so much like Zooey Deschanel. I couldn't get over it. I was expecting her to bust out a little ukulele and sing to the demons at any point. Lock it, pocket, market, fuck it. Or however Zooey Deschanel sings. More of this. But I felt this one was just very repetitive and more of a rinse and repeat kind of film compared with the past ones. I do think it was better in part 3, but not as good as part 1 or 2, of course. I will say the ending wraps everything up. No spoilers, but it wraps everything up nice. It gives Ed and Lorraine a nice send-off. Regardless of the controversies the real-life couple were a part of, the cinematic versions of their characters ends on a pretty good note, pretty sweet note. I hope that doesn't surprise anyone. Again, no spoilers, but in the first Conjuring movie, they win with the power of faith and the power of love. In the second one, they win with the power of faith and the power of love. In the third one, they win with the power of faith and the power of love. How do you think they're gonna win in this film? If you guess machine guns and jujitsu, well, you're a tad bit off. But what do you expect? It's a Conjuring film, a movie about battling demons and such. Overall, I rate this one on the positive side of real mid. I was disappointed and thought it would go out on a bigger bang, but it wasn't bad. I wish it had more scares and creepy moments, but the ones it does has, though not groundbreaking and more of the same when compared to the rest of the franchise, still were okay. 2 Scaredy Cows for a couple of jump scares. Other than that, nothing really stood out as stellar or stupendous. Okay, that's it for me today, folks. Corey and Joey, thank you for being Patreon subscribers. Anyone else that would like to help the channel grow, go to patreon.com/therealvalue or make a one-time donation through Cash App or Venmo at Gypness. All right, see me next time, because I can't see you. Peace. Boom, boom, boom. Ba-boom, boom.
I've got this disease growing deep down inside.